Welcome back to the Cutting Edge Leadership in Apparel Development. For the last couple of months, we've been going through the best practices for how to run an apparel fitting. And today we're going to be wrapping that up as we move forward into more details about how to build a beautiful tech pack. The last bit of advice that I'd really like to give on running a fitting is don't be afraid to cut, pin, mark, draw, tape your samples until they're in a place where you know you can make improvements for the next round. I feel like when I first started my career, it was just standard practice to bring scissors and a bazillion pins into the fitting and make sure that we were manipulating our garments exactly how we needed to replicate pattern revisions so that we saw better improvements on the next round. But for some reason recently, it has just been new ideas saying, we don't really want to mark up our garments, we don't want to damage them. I think a lot of people want to wear test their prototypes, but it is my opinion that your prototype is there so that you can make sure you get better results as you move forward. If your team is unwilling to cut or mark on your garment, you are probably not getting the best use out of that proto. In a recent fitting with one of my clients, I pulled out a pair of scissors to a jersey that we were fitting, and everyone kind of went, "Oh my gosh, what are we gonna do here?" We were having some trouble figuring out exactly what was going on with the garment. It was riding up all near the neck and in the shoulders, and we were looking at the balance of the garment. Was the collar too tight? Was the shoulder slope way too high? We couldn't quite figure it out. I knew that the armhole and the shoulder area was too tight, but without showing them by cutting off the sleeves, it was impossible to convince them that that was the issue. And so I decided to pull out a pair of scissors to see if cutting off the sleeves would help us see if the shoulder increase would help relieve all of that stress on the rest of the garment. Lo and behold, it absolutely did. We were able to see relief on the garment and everything laid really nicely on the body once we understood that the shoulder just needed to be increased in width. This is the exact jersey that we were using in that fitting. And so when I went to chop off the top of that sleeve, all of a sudden everything relaxed. We just had a really big gape up at the shoulders so that we knew we needed to increase our across front, across shoulder, and back to make sure that we were giving it all the extra fabric that it needed. Funnily enough now, every time we run a fitting with that client, the first question they want to ask is, can we cut it? They saw the results and they understood that manipulating your garment during the fitting actually can provide better results as you move forward. If this series on running a fitting has been helpful to you or your team in any way, I would love to hear from you. You can head over to our website, thebusinessofapparel.com/10, TEN, to get your 10-in-1 download for a bunch of different resources on how to run a perfect fitting. Stay tuned for future weeks where we're going to be diving into all of the details you need to know about measurement pages and tech packs.